Did you know in 1950s we did not have welfare? Welfare came along after the Immigration Act in 1965 here in Canada by Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau. He's the one who made the country multicultural. We were never a multicultural country before. If anybody tells you that, that's a lie. This is when our red ensign flag was dumped for a new flag because it did not reflect on the new populations, the new immigrants. So the maple leaf was decided to be our new flag. Now, this happened around the same time in the USA too, when the Multicultural Immigration Act came in 1965, soon or about after or before in the USA also. Now, welfare, it is to assist these immigrants as a transitioning to setting up here while looking for a job. It is not originally about helping our own people. Just about everyone before that time had good wages. For example, down in the United States, people who lived around Detroit and Motor City, many who got out of school wanted to work in the car industry. This was a very good job with great pay, and at that time it was a secure future with benefits. Immigration keeps the wages low and has made our own people poorer and our tax dollars out the window to foreigners. Eventually, our own people got so poor that they themselves ended up on welfare. Immigration is to bring in people with lower expectations. To them, compared to what they earn back home, they make more here and are more satisfied here. This replaces us and our prosperity. They forced us, man and wife, both to work just to make a living. Corporate man loves people who do not complain, do not know their rights as employees, and who are hard workers making minimum wages. They want good little worker bees, obedient, robotic worker bees, and immigrants are just that for the CEOs, these fat fuckers, you know. Plus, they live together, we do not. Our families have been broken apart due to extreme feminism and strife, and amongst other anti-national things that happened to our country. The enemy is within. And people were so brainwashed, not caring to have our parents and relatives living with us under the same roof as we did many decades before. Now we struggle because of this. While others make it fine doing this, they support each other. We, on the other hand, hardly at all. Now, in our current times, in our current situations here, our government, the Canadian government, opened up 100% foreign ownership of our businesses. Then temporary foreign workers, now mass immigration. Our citizens have lost their jobs and can't even work for any government unless no ethnic person wants that job. And even in convenience stores and fast food, the government pays 85% of foreign worker wages. Now, how can Canadians get jobs or get pay increases to cover inflation when our government is importing our replacements and using our tax dollars to support those who are taking our jobs? It is simple to see our government is also giving grants, not loans, to new immigrants so they can start or buy businesses. Nothing for us Canadians who have paid taxes for years. Can anyone see the big picture yet? Now, many of the immigrants, because of this, are they buying franchises. They're buying dollar stores. They're buying up Burger Kings, Subways, McDonald's. They're buying all these franchises. And who do they hire? Any of us? They hire their own people. Take a look. Walk into a fast food store. Take a look. Walk in a bank. Why do the banksters hire others? Is there hardly any white people in the banks? Take a look around in the banks. Not in no major city. They won't hire no white person. Any person who's got banking experience and is white. I've got banking experience. I got a banking degree up on my wall. You think they would bother me to hire me? I'm the wrong skin color. They are the real racists. What does Statistics Canada say? Statistics Canada estimates that for every 10% increase in the population from immigration, wages in Canada are now reduced by 4% on average, with the greatest impact to more skilled workers, such as workers with postgraduate degrees, whose wages are reduced by 7%. Are you had enough? Enough of bleeding hearts. This is our land. You know, who? Okay, if North America, if it was stolen from the Native Americans, then how can they justify by having immigrants over? Isn't that calling the kettle black? Seriously. We have got a bunch of psychopaths running our country, running North America, running the Western world, ruining us, ruining our families, making us more poor, impoverished, carbon taxes, baloney, global warming, scamming. And all these scams that's going on currently. They love these little robotic worker bees. They don't complain. They don't know their rights. They won't complain to labor relations. They're all virtue signaling, these corporations and businesses. It's time to take back our country. Hang on. The antithesis of globalism is nationalism. What is globalism? Massive immigration, free trade, global superstate believes all races and cultures should blend into a mono-race and monoculture. Nationalism opposes mass immigration and free trade, sovereign ethno-states for all people. This includes colored people. This includes, like, India should be nationalist, and they are actually nationalist. Indians are nationalists. Why are they allowed to be nationalists, but except for all white countries? India is a very nationalist country. Do you see white people flooding their country? They would fight against it. They would fight against. East Indians would fight against if millions of white people went in their country. They would hate it. And yet, massive people come over here, and we're supposed to shut up. We're not allowed to maintain our uniqueness, our individual races and cultures. We're not even in the same races. The East Indians are partly white. Their features their skeletal features are white because India used to be white. But they're mongrelized. Not Mongol, mongrelized means they are mixed. They're mixed probably with more black than they are white. But the tribes, they had the slaves, and they brought over, they were the slave drivers, the specific tribes in your unholy Bible. They were the ones who brought all the slaves over to the Caribbeans, to the South Americans, because darkened skinned people don't belong in the Caribbean. They don't belong in Hawaii. They don't belong in India. They don't belong in Egypt. They brought them there. And they're doing it here with us, the last remaining white races, the last remaining people here. Understand the slow genocide that's happening. It's time to stop it. They want us to be silenced. Nationalism is not Nazism. We don't support Nazism. We don't support National Socialism. The KKK and all the other racist organizations, they are all made up by certain tribes people who want to dirty the hands of the white races, of the white race. They are constructed to show, look, all the white people, they're supremacists. How can we be supremacist? We are the global minority. Hang on. I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. Mr. John D. Rockefeller. Ha 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 ha. Hang on, folks. We're going to do a comparison of the populaces of certain countries here. Okay, here we go. Now, who has the supremacy here as the dominant races? Certainly not any white nations. Even all the white nations together, we are still a minority. A minority which is under attack of extinction. And yet we are called racist if we say anything to defend our populations. We have a right to exist, and we will fight all the way. Here is the most populated countries on earth. India in 2020, population is estimated at, what is that, 1 billion or 1,380,000,000? Well, that's 1,300,000,000 people at mid-year according to UN data. India population is equivalent to 17.7% of the total world's population. Ranks number 2 in a list of countries and dependencies by population. The population density in India is 462 per kilometers, 2 people per mile. China's 2020 population is 1.44 billion based on United Nations projections. The People's Republic of China is the largest country in the world today. The current population in Africa is about 1,350,000,000 as of Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. Based on the latest United Nations estimates, Africa population is equivalent to 16.72% of the total population. Africa ranks number 2 among the regions of the world, roughly equivalent to continents, ordered by population. Black population, yellow population. Yet, these are called minorities, and we whites are the majority. Do you see the lie? Non-whites are overwhelmingly the majority on this planet. Whites are the tiny minority. Who is the racist? Who is invading whose land? We did not ask. No one, there was no polls, no opinions. Pierre Trudeau never asked any Canadian if we wanted multiculturalism. Study it. We weren't asked about this. It's time to bring back Canada. We are not the racists. Defending ourselves for our survival, our children. This is not about hatred. It's not about going out and killing other people or anything. Nationalism is for everybody, for every colored person out there. Okay? If you want to force yourself on our countries, then you're a globalist supporter. You support the real devils, globalists, internationalists. These are the devils. Take care. Thanks for watching.